You know, there's a lot of things that when they talk about Dr. King and they mention, you know, it's I Have a Dream speech, and they mention all the great things that Dr. King has accomplished. But there's something that recently came out was the letter that was sent to Dr. King by the FBI. And we're going to actually, you know, look at that letter together and see what they sent him back in that time period. But just to give a backstory as to why the FBI started to follow him in the first place. So from 1954 to 1968, Martin Luther King was the most visible person in the civil rights movement here in America. But about 1955, the FBI has started to watch Dr. King, especially during the involvement of the Montgomery bus boycott. Now, the Montgomery bus boycott, that got started because, you know, when they were telling black people go to the back of the bus, let white people sit up in the front, and black folks were like, oh, hell no, especially after what happened, the situation with Rosa Parks. Then they boycotted the buses for a year. And black folks didn't get on no bus, didn't ride nothing. They carpooled together, they walked instead of getting on the buses. The bus companies lost so much money doing that, they had to end up changing the law behind that. So understand something. You don't need quote unquote politics to affect politics. What you need is the grassroots. And Dr. King proved that so much. Begging these people to make changes is not going to get them to do anything. Power only recognizes power. What Dr. King and them did with the Montgomery bus boycott was power. We're taking the money away from you, and we're forcing you to make things done politically by taking our money away. See, Dr. King was very, very good at that. And the brothers and sisters in the past had way more discipline than we have today. I wish we had the discipline now as those brothers and sisters in the civil rights movement to know how to hold your money in your pocket and not having to buy anything. So why would you monitor Dr. King for that? He wasn't committing any crimes. He was just saying black people don't ride the bus. But see, anytime black folks want to hold their money and take their money, which is not a crime, away, all of a sudden you're being monitored. So that was triggered the monitoring in 1955, which is about a year after he kind of got out. So at the time, J. Edgar Hoover was personally hostile toward Dr. King. And he was literally obsessed with Dr. King. And it got worse with J. Edgar Hoover after Martin Luther King done the I Have a Dream speech in Washington. He got so bothered, and he said he has to label Dr. King as the most dangerous Negro in America, according to J. Edgar Hoover at that time period. So they really started following Dr. King with COINTELPRO, which is the FBI's counterintelligence program. They tried to prove he was a communist, which he was not. There was no evidence of that at all. But they allegedly claimed that Dr. King had extramarital affairs. They say the technicians at the Bureau had so-called sex tapes of Dr. King, and they ended up preparing a package to send to his house when he wasn't there, so his wife, the great Coretta Scott King, could receive this particular package. Let's go ahead and look at that letter together, and I want you to see how it was written, because it's written like a black person wrote it. And I want you to look at the language that it's going to speak in this particular letter, and it's going to be eerie how it sounds like the same kind of language that you'll see on YouTube comments or anywhere on the internet. So let's check this out. So it says, King, in view of your low grade, abnormal personal behavior, I will not dignify your name with either a Mr. or a Reverend or a Doctor, and your last name calls to mind only the type of king, such as King Henry VIII, and his countless acts of adultery and immoral conduct lower than that of a beast. King, look into your heart. You know you are a complete fraud and a great liability to all of us Negroes. First of all, black folks wouldn't even care about no King Henry VIII. They let you know it wasn't no black person wrote that. Is that white people in this country have enough frauds of their own, but I'm sure they don't have one at this time that is anywhere near your equal. You are no clergyman, you know it. I repeat, you are a colossal fraud and an evil, vicious one at that. You could not believe in God and act as you do. Clearly, you don't believe in any personal moral principles. King, Like all frauds, your end is approaching. You could have been our greatest leader. You could, even at an early age, have turned out to not be a leader, but a dissolute, abnormal, moral, impeccable. Is that we will now have to depend on our older leaders like Wilkins, a man of character, and thank God we have others like him. But you are done. Your honorary degrees, your Nobel Prize, he said, what a grim farce, and other awards will not save you, King. I repeat, you are done. He said, no person can overcome facts, not even a fraud like yourself. Lend your sexually psychotic ear to the enclosure. You will find yourself and in all your dirt, filth, evil, and moronic talk exposed on the record for all time. I repeat, no person can argue successfully against facts. You are finished. You will find on the record for all time your filthy, dirty, evil companions, male and females, giving expression with you to your hideous abnormalities, and some of them to pretend to be ministers of the gospel. Satan could not do more. He said, what incredible evilness. It is all there on the record. Your sexual orgies, listen to yourself, you filthy, abnormal animal. You're on the record. You have been on the record. All of your adulterous acts, your sexual orgies extending far into the past. This one is but a tiny sample. You will understand this. Yes, from your, I guess it says various, because it's kind of messed up there. Evil playmates on the East Coast too, I guess that's redacted, and others on the West Coast and outside the country. You are on the record. King, you are done. The American public, the church organization that you have been helping, Protestant, Catholic, and Jews, will know you for what you are, an evil, abnormal beast. So for others who have backed you, you are done. King, there's only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is. You have just 34 days in which to do. This exact member has been selected for a specific reason. It has definite, practical, significant. You are done. This is but one way out for you. You better take it before you feel the animal fraudulent self is bared to the nation. So basically, they're suggesting to Dr. King to go ahead on and kill himself, or they're going to expose him. And Dr. King was like, nope, I ain't doing anything. I'm not doing no such thing. I know who this is. This is the FBI. Now, people have said that in the past that he had affairs, and if he did, his wife never came out and said anything about it. She never put anything on blast. It's alleged. And let's say if he did have that, so they don't take away from his work. For me, it don't take away from his words and what he ever said about this country and how they treat black people. No, it don't tarnish his image at all to me, because especially in this day and time, it definitely wouldn't tarnish his image at all. But for me, I don't care about that. Even if it is true, I don't care. His wife never said it's true. His wife never divorced him. So for me, it's water beneath the bridge. But you see how they wrote the letter like it's a black person wrote the letter. You know, it's like them comments you come on YouTube or Instagram, whatever, and they'll say, yeah, and you're so-and-so, and I'm black. What, you notice they always say that, and I'm black, because a black person won't talk that way. Now, they didn't write the, and I'm black, but they gave away certain things that you know good and well a black person wouldn't say or would even care about at all. You understand? We know Dr. King, was shot and killed, and, he's not here with us anymore. That brother didn't get to see a full life, but he fought hard for his people. But this is what Dr. King was dealing with. When you see these same people today say, oh, Martin Luther King, we love him. They hated King. This country couldn't stand Dr. King. There were people celebrating, talking to them folks, celebrating when Dr. King was killed. Because how dare a black man say, treat us equally? That's all the man was asking for. He was asking for equality. Now, he admitted he made a mistake with integration. He admitted that. He said, I integrated my people into a burning building. And yes, toward the end of his life, Dr. King really woke up. Dr. King was starting to, have conversations with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You see him talking with Malcolm X, and all the King start waking up and start thinking more like Malcolm toward the end, because he's seeing that, wait a minute, this integration thing didn't work. And we're suffering today as a community due to that, because we lost our businesses, we lost our family, we lost everything. We lost it all. And corporate America benefited off of integration. We didn't. We didn't whatsoever. Because we had, during segregation, It was nothing to find a black hotel, a black dry cleaners, a black whatever, a black supermarket. You had it. Now go find one. And you look at it, find one. You know, I mean, that's what the burning building was about that Dr. King spoke about. But understand, our history in America is dark. And when they tell us that attach other groups to our suffering and what we've been through, no other group has dealt with the things that we have dealt with. That's why I don't want to hear no talk about no people of color, no minorities, no disadvantaged communities, no black and attached to someone else to us. No. When we talk about our issues, it's specific because it's specific to this nation and the history of what we went through here in America. Dr. King is a person that I highly respect. I may not agree with every single thing, but who's going to agree with everything? He was more effective than anybody because Dr. King understood, hit him in a pocketbook. That was his most powerful thing that he done, was hitting them in the pocketbook. And that was the Achilles heel to this day. It's the pocketbook. If we got back to our discipline that we had before to understand that, okay, Walmart or whatever company, you want to treat black people that way? Okay, we're not shopping with you for a year. And do it? Oh boy, that made world news. African Americans not even shopping in Walmart. It's been 6 months. They ain't bought anything. It would kill them. But they will concede today real quick because they can't stand not having your money. They don't know how it feels not to have our money. Or whatever corporation may be, they may be treating black people bad. Oh, Airbnb, you got people that's treating black people racist? Okay, no black people use Airbnb. And we stick to it? Oh boy, I'm just saying, that is how you make moves. That's making power moves. Not up here talking about we going to vote for Democrat and we going to scream at the Democrats. No, Dr. King and them didn't scream in no Democrats' face. They say, okay, we're going to take the money away. It's economic power that you respect. You don't respect no begging these folks for anything. And shout out to Dr. King, and even his mother was assassinated in 74, and we definitely need to talk more about that. But in this country, man, we have a dark history in this country, and we have not gotten justice yet. But it's coming. It's coming. It's coming faster than what you think. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I am seeing the promised land like Moses saw the promised land. I'm seeing it. Because it's coming, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the situation with Dr. King and his letter sent to him by the FBI. Now, don't that letter sound just like a lot of comments that we'll get today? And also, if you see the little things pop up on the screen, make sure you subscribe to all of our channels because we want you to make sure you connect to everything that we're doing.